Carlos and Chris are both 9 years old and live next door to each other. Their parents are also friends and want to get the boys involved with sports. Filippo and Laura were never really athletes and aren't sure which sport their son Chris would be good at. Federico played baseball in college and Leah competed in volleyball tournaments. They think that Carlos would be good at either one of those sports, but aren't sure. We have observed through the years that by the age of 15, 90% of kids quit sports. They go from one sport to another, having invested time and resources searching for the one that's the best fit for their physical talents, in the process wasting hard-earned money and valuable time. One of Federico's buddies tells him about SportUnleash, which is a sport talent identification system that scientifically matches the physical abilities of the child to the physical requirements of a sport and the position within that sport. Federico and Leah are excited to try it with Carlos, but Filippo and Laura aren't so sure you can predict athletic talent like that. Carlos goes in for testing and receives a detailed report. Chris doesn't get the test, but is busy going through the newspapers looking for a sport he can do. His parents discover that his most capable sport is actually track and field, specifically the 400-meter event. He would also be good at basketball as a point guard. Chris's parents enroll him in swimming, but after 2 years, he quits. So his parents enroll him in tennis. That lasts about 3 years before Chris loses interest. By the time he is 15, Chris gives up. If only he had gotten the SportUnleash report at the same time Carlos did, he would have been a soccer center forward. Meanwhile, Carlos has been running track and field for over 6 years. Excelling in a sport and staying on the right path also helped Carlos enter a good university. Now at 23, because Carlos has been focusing his athletic effort on the sport that's best aligned with his natural talent, he qualifies to participate at the Olympic Games. Chris, on the other hand, spends his time watching Carlos on TV while he is still trying to get his life together. Maybe if he'd gotten a SportUnleash report when he was 9, like Carlos, both young men would be competing in the Olympics for their country. Instead, Chris has to watch his friend from the stands. Many of us have experienced firsthand how the majority of the top jobs are taken by less than 10% of the children who have competed in a sport at the highest level in high school. The sport talent identified by the SportUnleash report will give your child that edge. Don't gamble with precious time and resources. Instead, get your child scientifically tested to determine the best sport, so that he or she can get the winning edge, not only in sport, but in life as well. Visit SportUnleash.com and get your child's SportUnleash report today to set your child up to succeed.